The entire world of women's tennis was taken aback by Alex Eala. The global buzz, particularly online, has remained persistent. What began as a scandal worth billions of dollars spread rapidly, drawing celebrities, billionaires, and millions of fans into its orbit. The focus of women's tennis shifted from the typical on-court events to a new discussion surrounding Alex. And it wasn't about her victories. It was about the controversy that had erupted. The story that followed was far more dramatic than the simple rumors that had been circulating. What emerged wasn't just a scandal. It was a stark warning. A mirror was held up to the celebrity-driven culture of social media and to the dark machinery that capitalizes on growing symbols. The truth of the situation was much deeper than the public narrative suggested. The heart of the matter was Alex Eala, a 20-year-old tennis prodigy from the Philippines, whose name had become synonymous with the future of the sport. Born on May 23, 2005, in the city of Quezon, Alexandra Mano Eala wasn't like other athletes. She became a sensation in tennis, a force to be reckoned with, inspiring not just her nation but the world. At just 20, she had accomplished feats no Filipino tennis player had ever achieved. She became the first Filipino to win the junior singles championship at a Grand Slam, clinching the women's singles title at the 2022 U.S. Open. Her accomplishments didn't stop there. She became the first Filipino to reach the top of the WTA 100, breaking records by defeating top-ranked players and advancing to the WTA 10,000 semifinals. By 2026, she achieved a career-high world ranking of 31, the highest ever for a Filipino tennis player. But this isn't just about statistics. Alex Eala's story transcends numbers and rankings. It's about the fans. Wherever Alex played, whether in Miami, Dubai, or Guadalajara, stadiums were packed. Not because of aggressive marketing or the WTA's promotional efforts, but because of the Filipino fans who followed her passionately. They traveled far and wide to see her play, buying tickets to tournaments in cities they may never have visited otherwise. They supported her through every match, and they cheered with pride. One fan put it simply, Alex Eala is the greatest tennis player of the moment. She wasn't just a name, she was an icon. However, with fame came something darker. In early 2026, Alex's name became entangled in a bizarre financial scandal. A post on Facebook, shared thousands of times, claimed that she had been offered a $1.6 billion deal by Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, one of the world's wealthiest men and the founder of Manchester City Football Club. According to the viral posts, the Sheikh allegedly offered Alex a deal worth $6 billion, with a $1 billion down payment and an annual salary of millions for the next 10 years. In return, Alex would move to Abu Dhabi and become the face of a new tennis competition, the Abu Dhabi Diamond Tennis Championship. The posts went viral, spreading like wildfire. Supporters were thrilled, celebrating what seemed like the culmination of Alex's success, thinking that their national hero was finally being recognized on a grand scale. But there was a problem. The entire story was a fabrication. No evidence of a meeting between Alex and Sheikh Mansour ever surfaced. No official statement came from Alex's camp, the WTA, or any reliable news outlet. The entire narrative was a hoax. And this wasn't the first time. Around the same time, another article claimed that Alex had signed a $45 million deal with Wilson Sporting Products, only to be debunked by fact-checkers who confirmed that Alex was still under contract with Babolat. Rumors spread about Alex donating millions to the homeless in Quezon City after her victory in the Eastbourne Open. A story that was entirely made up. Even a picture circulated showing Alex supposedly hugging a man named Marco, who had sold his motorcycle to attend her match. The image was fake, and Marco didn't exist. Even more damning was the fact that Alex, a left-handed player, was depicted holding a racket in her right hand in the AI-generated photo. But how did things get so out of control? This wasn't a random occurrence. This wasn't a naive prank from an immature teenager. Behind these fake stories was a calculated, profitable strategy. A network of Facebook pages, including popular tennis-themed sites like Flow Tennis and Tennis Mood, had been spreading fabricated tales about Alex. These pages didn't share accurate tennis news, but instead created emotional, clickbait narratives centered around Alex. The formula was simple. Build a large audience of Filipino tennis fans, post heartwarming or anger-inducing stories about Alex, then direct all the engagement to websites filled with ads. The more clicks these sites received, the more money they made. It was an easy way to generate revenue by exploiting the public's emotions and national pride. The danger of these viral stories became apparent when real public figures, such as GMA Network's Mel Tonko, were dragged into the drama. One fake post claimed that Tonko had mocked Alex, calling her vile and self-centered. Tonko had to publicly refute the claim on national television, reassuring viewers that Alex was a respected athlete who deserved all her success. The damage caused by these fake stories wasn't just about misinformation. It was about the dangers of online manipulation in 2026. The fake narratives surrounding Alex Eala weren't just about boosting engagement. They were about making money off people's emotional investment. As a result, the true narrative of Alex's rise to fame was overshadowed by a web of lies that ultimately turned into a billion-dollar scandal. In the end, Alex Eala's story wasn't just about tennis. It was about the intersection of fame, social media, and the dark side of digital storytelling in the modern world. The world of tennis has been rocked, not only by incredible talent, but also by a controversial storm that has caused both outrage and confusion. Alex Eala, a 20-year-old Filipino tennis sensation, became the center of a scandal worth billions of dollars, capturing the attention of celebrities, billionaires, and millions of fans worldwide. But the story wasn't just about her performance on the court. It was about the massive falsehoods that spread across the internet, threatening to overshadow her achievements. In early 2026, the scandal reached new heights when false reports began circulating about Alex being offered a $1.6 billion contract by Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, one of the world's richest men, and the founder of Manchester City Football Club. The deal, allegedly worth $6 billion, claimed Alex would move to Abu Dhabi and lead a newly created tennis competition. The post went viral, causing a frenzy of celebration and disbelief among her supporters. But this was just another fabrication. No meeting had taken place, no official statement had been made by Alex or the WTA, and no reputable news outlet had confirmed the story. This wasn't the first time such false claims about Alex surfaced. Rumors of a multi-million-dollar deal with Wilson Sporting Products and donations to the homeless were also debunked. The entire narrative around Alex was being manipulated to stir emotions and generate clicks, leveraging the growing admiration for her success. The backlash against these fake stories was immense, especially when it affected real public figures. GMA Network anchor Mel Tonko was falsely accused of insulting Alex and had to publicly refute the claim. The false reports created an internet storm, shaking the foundations of the sports and media industries. The social media frenzy left fans and journalists questioning the system and the treatment of female athletes. Despite all the noise and controversy, Alex chose to remain focused on her career. After losing to Coco Gauff at the Dubai Open, she didn't engage in a public outburst or sensational statement. Instead, she returned to the practice court and addressed the false rumors with grace and composure, urging her fans to rely on trustworthy news sources. "I truly have no control over it," Alex said. "All I can say is that people should just look for reliable news outlets." Her words were simple, but carried the weight of someone who had been misrepresented and misunderstood for months. She acknowledged the emotional impact of these stories, but chose not to fuel the fire. Alex's true worth and success go beyond the fabricated contracts and internet rumors. At just 20 years old, she had already become a trailblazer for the Philippines in tennis, earning the highest career ranking for a Filipino player at number 31. Her real sponsors, Babolat, Nike, Globe Telecom, and Bank of the Islands, represented genuine collaborations based on her hard work, talent, and success, not the fictional stories circulating online. The WTA also came under scrutiny for the way it handled Alex's rise. In a highly criticized move, the Dubai event organizers scheduled Alex's quarterfinal match with Coco Gauff as the first game of the evening session, instead of the main event. This poor scheduling decision required Filipino fans to stay up until 1 a.m. to watch their idol play. Critics and tennis publications highlighted how the WTA and event organizers failed to capitalize on Alex's growing popularity. This incident was another reminder of the system's failure to properly support its rising stars, particularly female athletes. The sports world, and tennis in particular, had failed to nurture its most exciting young talent, opting instead to prioritize other factors over athletes' needs. Despite these setbacks, Alex's story remains a beacon of hope and pride for the Philippines and the global tennis community. Her rise to prominence symbolizes the potential for change within the sport, where a young woman from the Philippines has become a national hero, representing more than just herself but a whole country's aspirations. The billion-dollar scandal and the subsequent wave of false information were just a reflection of something bigger. A society that often values emotions and sensationalism over truth and integrity. As Alex continues to rise through the ranks of the WTA, her real story, the story of hard work, dedication, and talent, remains untouched by the chaos that surrounds her .as fans and supporters. It's crucial to remember that Alex Eala doesn't need fake stories to be compelling. Her journey is one of true achievement. She is already one of the most exciting players in the world, and the Philippines has found its champion. It's time the world focused on the real story. Alex's dedication to tennis, her cultural impact, and her bright future. In a world dominated by fake narratives, Alex Eala stands as a beacon of authenticity and grace. Her true story continues to inspire millions around the globe, proving that true success doesn't need artificial hype. It speaks for itself.